Hey guys, it's Sam. After a lot of back and forth and heart-to-heart talk with myself and a good old-fashioned pros and cons list, I have finally decided on my 2026 lineup. So if that's something that you're interested in, please stay tuned. It's probably going to be chatty. I have a snack and a drink with me, so I hope that you'll get something warm to drink and maybe a snack as well. I am drinking some Lady Grey tea and I sweeten that with stevia, and I'm having some shortbread cookies as well. So cozy up and get ready to hear about my setup for the year. All right, so like I said, I did the whole pros and cons list because I've been kind of spiraling with the whole what's your perfect system? I have to decide what's it going to be. And I have things that are here currently that I'm not going to be using for the year, and I'm going to be okay with that. I have some different things to use, and I have a good purpose for all of them. So there's not going to be one is going to be a planner, one is going to be my like memory keeper of the year, and one is going to be for other stuff that we'll talk about. But this isn't like a planner stack really, because it's just the system that's going to work together, and there's not going to be a bunch of duplication, which is something that often stresses me out. And I have plans for what if even this is stressing me out, like what I'm going to do about it. So I will get started with like the main thing, and I don't even know if this is the main thing, but this is my plan for a planner for the year. I'm just going to stick with personal rings. It works for my brain. Every time I try to stop using personal rings as a planner, I just feel a little less functional and a little bit more scattered. And I've said it many times, I will continue to say it. It's because it's customizable to me and to what I need, and I don't have to worry about my like commitment fears when it comes to, is the information that I'm about to write down right now good enough for the system itself? And I know that that's a me problem, but it's a problem that I have, and I don't see me fixing it, so I might as well just, yep, that's something that I deal with and try to find a way to work around it. So I'm going to keep my rings kind of the same way for 2026 as I have now. I have inserts ready to go. Let me grab some here. So I have these things ready. I'm only kind of undecided about one part of this. So I have the Filofax month on 2 pages refill, and this one is a Monday start. I have the week on 2 page, which I haven't used one of these in a hot minute, but this is a week on 2 page insert from Filofax as well. And a reason why I'm going with these is because they're so thin. And one of the problems with printing your own inserts, there's lots of benefits to printing your own inserts, but generally the paper that we use in the planner community to make it not just the copy paper is thicker, so then it makes it more difficult to fit all of your pages into like a binder at the end of the year, which would fix one of my problems as far as feeling like I need to keep a memory keeper on the shelf. I am not saying that this is what I'm going to stick with. This is just an option that I wanted for the year. I have my already paid for, already working for me, semi-custom from Peanuts Planner Co. And so I'll be using one of these too. I also have the year planner, which this one is a fold out. And this is where I log my cycle and symptoms. So anything health related, any kind of symptoms that I'm having, and my cycle I keep here. And this way I have more space to write more details about how I'm feeling. And so I really like that this can come with me into like next year. And then I could easily, if I'm at a doctor's appointment, I can say, okay, well, this is the pattern for what I'm dealing with, so we can kind of see those kinds of things. So I'm going to be using that again for this year. And then I have the yearly bundle from Peanuts Planner Co. I love this particular one that sits sideways like this. I don't know why. Probably just because it's so much different than all the other ones out there. The design is slightly different for this year. I think it's a little bit more clean, which I like, but I'll just continue putting my little star there to show when the month is over. It's not really helpful for anything, but it is what it is. The other two, and this one has like a quarterly quarterly planner pages, which I have not used this year. I've only used just this itself. So that's kind of gone to waste in a way, but it's not hurting anything either. So that's there. And then this one, I wasn't sure, honestly, what I was going to do with this one. I might do my whole workout tracker, but that failed this year. Let's see, I think I still have one in here. That failed this year because I was using the dot markers and that does bleed through. So I'm going to have to come up with a different color coding or different system that I will be able to use all the pages. So if I can come up with that, then I'll use this for my workouts. And then there's a couple more pieces in that bundle. This one, not sure what this is on the back. I'll have to look into that. And then this, I'm also not sure. I might use this to do some kind of pre-planning for events that we might not be going to, but we know about in our area, and or PTO, that kind of thing. But I like that there's different options for you in here. And then this one, 6 months on either side. And I'm not sure, again, about this, but they're available. And then there's just some weekly pages that I have printed out and punched and ready to go there. So that's going to be like the bulk of my planner. The one thing that I'm not sure about right now, I probably will get back to this in a second, but I have gone back and forth between daily planning and not daily planning. And when you see another piece to my system, I don't know, maybe we'll just talk through it together. But I do go back and forth between using a dated insert or a day on a page and then just these blank pages, which honestly, I feel like these make me feel, for whatever reason, the most functional. And I think, well, I guess it's not for whatever reason. I think that it's because there's nothing for me to follow. It's just exactly what I need it to be. But I usually find myself using these when I have the most going on and I'm the most stressed out. So I have them here for this week. And the bonus to these is that, of course, I can go ahead and pop into my timeline things that I need to do on certain days. So that's super helpful, but it doesn't give me, anything goes, because the person who made these inserts already chose, you get 3 priorities. Well, I don't need 3 priorities every day, and maybe my to-do list needs to be longer than that. And so I kind of try to ignore that and do what is needed, but that's kind of a downside of having something that is, made in a design, because you have to change for the way it is instead of the free form of just like a blank page. The negative to this is, of course, I can't really plan ahead unless I were to like take a week and then just make, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But as you can see, I don't always fill up this page with one day. And so I would be wasting some paper there. So there's downsides to every way you do it, but that's kind of my only question mark right now. I have a note to myself to buy to buy dailies, but I'm not sure just yet if I'm going to. My other sections that I have, like the health notes, can stay the same. I do have a book tracker that I finally think I decided on that I haven't purchased or checked out yet. And then I have like my Christmas planning pages and this really messy Thanksgiving planning, because we were just kind of brainstorming a bunch of different ideas. And things that we wanted to do before family came in. And I have some tracker pages that are not going so well that I've really fallen behind on. This book insert is one that I'm going to replace because I feel like I want a little bit more space to write out notes about what I just read. So that one I think I'm going to replace. But then I have just like my other lists and things in the back, and then a bunch of blank pages. And one of the things that I really like about rings is nothing has to be permanent, which can also be a downside. And I like taking stuff around with me. I like that you can tip anything in, but it's I don't know, it feels different than a bound book for me. And I just kind of like that I can rearrange things so easily, and I don't know, brain is great with rings. So this one is a Filofax original. It's one of my favorite binders that you can get, and personal is it. I do like pocket. I especially love the look of a pretty little pocket in hand, and it's great, but I use Pocket Plus instead of Pocket, and that becomes really a little too complicated for me to try to figure that all out. And personal is such a standard size that it's great. It's just going to be it. Pocket was not for 2025, and it's not going to be for 2026 either. Personal, personal, personal. Okay, so that's part number one. That is my main everyday carry planner, unless unless. So I was having a heart-to-heart talk with well, I talked about it here because I had my work bag with me, but I had a heart-to-heart with my husband later about it, and I was like, the most consistent I have been with any planner since social media began was a large daily Moleskine. Now, it wasn't this one, which this one I have kind of gone back and forth with this year. But the one that I have been consistent with is my work. So there's lots of blank pages in here. But I use it every single day at work. And I'm very back and forth because I feel like while it's been really good for me at work, I think that the whole spiral notebook that work offers for free, which I talked about in my last video, would also work just as well. And so I thought, if I'm going to spend almost $30 on a book, do I want that to be for work? Which I still might decide to. I'm not sure yet. But I did purchase one for next year for me, personal, like mine, for my daily life. I got the green and the hardcover. I really like that. But I came to an understanding about myself while kind of giving a heart-to-heart with my husband about all of this, because I did talk in my last video about how I don't think that I'm a journaler. And he was like, yeah, you are. You just aren't the same kind of like diary person that most people who journal, you know, see themselves as, or I don't do the same thing that most people do. So this is, and the other thing is, I have Hobonichi weeks that I go back through and look at, and I have even like other planners that I will go back and look at. I will even go back through the pages of my pen and gear notebooks and see what I wrote. But when I open up like I never open my Hobonichi A6. And I think that part of it is the reason why I don't enjoy journaling. I want to see the little snippets. And it was this huge aha moment. I am much more likely to go look through these pages. And I know that if I have any kind of like journaling, it's going to be little tiny snippets like that. But that is what my like attention span will go for. We watched Pride and Prejudice in theater, and it was beautiful. Like, it's my favorite movie, and I'd never seen it in theater. So that was great. And I have the things that I think are important to me for tracking at the bottom. I like the weather. I like to see what I'm doing with my fitness. I like to know, what my health stuff was. So there's things that I can see very quickly at a glance with this that I'm not going to get from a long form journal entry. And so this this is what I want. And the only kind of caveat I have to this is that this is a bound book. And of course, I choose the hardcover, and you can put some stickers in here. But I have also found that instead of long form journaling, I also really like to collect crap, little snippets of memory for the year. So then I have a problem of what to do with this. So as I see it right now, this is most of the time going to be the book that I take out with me. I know that this works. I like that I can rearrange things. But I also know that I crave having the bound book. I crave, I look over, my bookshelf is right beside of my desk, and I have this long row of Hobonichi Weeks, and it just kills me to think about not using it. But I think I had a comment where somebody was like, "You're in a toxic relationship with that planner. Blink twice if you need help." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, blink, blink. Yes, I do." It's like I need to get off this ride. I want that bound book. And even if I can scrunch my ring pages in to one book, which I usually am not able to, it's not really the same. Now, I will have a caveat. If I'm successful in rings, if I'm using rings in a year, I usually don't throw my inserts out. There are things that I don't keep, but I usually don't throw my inserts out. So I have been this year taking all of my used inserts and putting them in another one of my, I'm not currently using this planner. And so I might be able to wrap my head around that otherwise. But the thing for me is, I guess, more than anything, I don't really find myself, even bullet journal style, rapid logging memory keeping, I don't find myself drawn to do that so much in my rings. The only time that I have done it, I sometimes go here to the bottom, which I don't even think, I think it would be in pages that I've already removed. Okay, so yeah, Monday the 3rd, I put finally fall color. The delay has given more time with leaves on trees. And so this is something that I'm writing down because I'm not in a diary. And this would be something that I would want to capture in a bound book. I also think this wouldn't work as well for me because if I try to keep all of my dailies, that's definitely going to spread out into multiple binders. And I'm like, ugh, that to me, that's been my hang up. Rings is functional for planning, but what the heck about that one book that I want to put on the shelf at the end of the year? And this doesn't really have cons for me, which did I say I was going to come back to that? Is that, no, that's not here. Oh wait, it's here. Okay, so I did my whole, and this is janky, it's whatever. I did my whole pro con list for rings, weeks, and Moleskine. I did this a few weeks ago. So rings are flexible, you customize them, and you don't have to draw anything out, which is something that has always made me fail with a bullet journal system. The cons are the archive situation, and the rings can get in the way and they can get bulky. For the weeks, the pros, it's an archive and it has all of the calendars in one book. But the cons for me, the grid size, the pen needs, I think is what I meant to put there. No. Well, there's also the pen problem, but it needs a sidekick companion notebook because I don't naturally write small, and I'm going to need something else to write in, like a notebook for scratchy, messy lists, which is one of the problems because it's a con. And then for the Moleskine, the pros are the lines are nice and big, which I love. The paper, chef's kiss. And I will add this caveat. I do not use fountain pen in these notebooks. So I know some people have issues with that, but that's not a problem for me. Sorry if it is for you, but for me, the paper is perfect. I love writing with it, and I can use any pen. The cons, especially in the pocket, not as much in the large, but in the pocket, these are horrible, and I don't understand why they don't change it to a month on 2 pages. I feel like everybody would be happy, and I don't know why they will not do it. I can make this one work. The pocket is nearly impossible for me. So the monthlies I don't like. And then there's the lack of notes pages in the back. There's only a few. All right. So, and then I was like, your planner can't fix your life. Okay. So then I went to my wants and needs list. I need a monthly, I need a weekly, or a weekly and a daily, and a place to log some things. And I would love all in one bound book with no vertical weekly. So like, I feel like the Hobonichi Cousin could work for me if other things I'm not going to discuss right now because I feel like we've heard it all before. Um, but that size I really like. Rings does it all. It's just it isn't in a bound book. And then Moleskine does it all in a zoomed in kind of way. But I need loose notes and post-its. But to be honest, I use those with my rings too, so it's definitely not a problem. So the way I see this is most days this is going to be the planner that comes out and about with me. There are times where I just crave the bound book, and there will be days where I just take this out with me. If I'm taking this out with me for the day, this will be on my nightstand at night. And if I know that I don't have to write down a whole bunch of journaling and it could just be a couple of things that I did that day or an observation or it was sunny or whatever, it's going to take me just a minute. It's going to give me so much more room than the Hobonichi weeks. And that was that was another problem for me with the Hobonichi weeks. I was trying to put planner and memory keeper together, which is fine to do. But the Hobonichi weeks, the spaces were really small. So I felt like I had to really be careful about what thing was like the keeper for the day for a memory, because what if something trumped that later in the evening or whatever? And so I was always like paranoid to write something down. This page is going to be more than I need usually most days. And that isn't overwhelming to me because I don't see space not written in as a problem. I feel like gives me the freedom to know that if I want to put a to-do list here or I want to put a longer bit of a memory or a sticker or ephemera or whatever, that can easily go in here and I don't have to be as choosy about what stays as a memory. So this is going to be great for me. The only issue that I have left is what about the other stuff that I have been enjoying and wanting to hang on to? And I was like, how can I make this work? And that is where my new favorite Traveler's Notebook, that's where this is going to come in for this year. But I'm going to be changing how I use it some. And I think that this is going to work well. Time will tell. I have to get these stickers out of here because I'm just not using them. Okay, so this has been kind of my junk journal, and I'm really bad about coming back in here and doing more writing. So I think I'm going to make this more of what a junk journal really is. I'm going to put like the receipt or the whatever, and I'm just going to make it more of a bullet journal like rapid logging, but with bigger pieces of ephemera. And I feel like the reason why I don't come in here and do this more is the stress of writing. And so if I remove the stress of writing and I know that the snippets of a memory are covered somewhere, but I don't want a box of junk at the end of the year, I will take the time to come in, paste in stuff, and write a tiny snippet and move on. So I'll probably will only end up with a few of these, 2 or 3 in a year, and that will be fine. And I feel like even if I kept most of my ring inserts, and I kept my Moleskine on the shelf, and then I could either put these bound together with a ribbon or something, or put them in the little storage folder that they have, which I own. And I could just put like 25 through 28 or whatever for those inserts. I know that I enjoy doing the whole keeping junk and pasting it in. It's just the writing that has not been serving me. So those things won't get lost. They'll be there. And then the little snippet will either be in here or in here. And the planning will also be there. So I feel like this I don't know. it's always it's always bad to share and say you figured it out, because then you freak out and panic and then you're the opposite of figuring it out. But I truly do enjoy all of these things. And for me, there's nothing that stresses me out about them other than like fearing that I'm not going to have the memory saved. And this is kind of all about function, me, not what anybody else is doing. I want the crap to possibly hang on to and save. I want the snippet of the memory that isn't in paper that I hate, doesn't stress me out. I can just grab any ballpoint pen and the planner that I know I can reorganize my tabs in all day long. And I don't know, it kind of calms me usually. And if I, in January say, you know what, things are chill and I don't want to carry rings out with me, I can pull out my little trackers for my health stuff, tuck them in the back here, only carry this book. Then when I start feeling like I need to have all of the organization, I pull the rings back out, and then this will be here on the side all of the time, waiting to have some kind of junk thrown into it. And it all kind of opened up for me, and I was like, it's not going to be a Hobonichi year. I have this book. It's going to replace the weeks for me. And I didn't see this coming at all, but this is the way I think it has to be. So this is going to be my system for 2026. I'm feeling very calm about it not being any kind of duplication, really. Putting the weather and my workout in two places, that's not a big deal. But I think that this is going to calm my brain, and I'm so looking forward to this. What about you? Are you getting rid of a planner that you've been in an unhealthy relationship with for years? I really want to stay strong with this. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Is this the day you've been waiting for? I feel at this moment so at peace about moving on and sticking with things that are working for me instead of me trying to find a way to make them work. Stress be gone. Okay, I can't wait to hear from you in the comments below. If you have stuck around this long, thank you so much for being here. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see if I actually stick to this and I have these 3 books going mid 2026, because we all know what a train wreck 2024 and 2025 were, I hope you consider subscribing. Thanks so much as always for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Happy Thanksgiving. Bye guys.